Hi, Drew. Alan Cockrell with ABC, hitting coordinator with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm going to run through your video today, take a look at some things, point out some of the things that I talked to my guys about. One of the things I see here in just the setup position, Drew, we're kind of sitting on our back leg. And, I know that's a very popular term, get back, sit back, stay back. But what we need to remember is we don't want weight on top of that back leg, okay? We want weight, rather than have weight sitting on top of this leg right here, we want weight on the inside part of that leg. We want to load into the back side. A couple things happen when we get everything on the back leg. The tendency is to want to sit on that back leg and spin, or we have the tendency to push forward and come up and then come out of the ground. We're actually pushing up and out of the ground. The ground is our source of power. We want to compress and push down into the ground and transfer weight into the front side. So when we're coming up and out of the ground, we're actually coming out of our source of power. If I sit on that back leg and spin, which is kind of what I see a little bit here, where everything's sitting on that back leg, we have a difficult time covering pitches on the outer half of the plate. We have a difficult time with off-speed pitches, whether it be a breaking ball or a changeup. Anything that's moving away from us, it's tough. We lose bat. We lose length of the bat, and we just can't stay on that ball like we need to. So one of the things I want to point out, and we'll just start, I'll go ahead and let you run it. We'll run it to the actual load position, okay? And the load position is when this stride foot lands, okay, we want to have good equal bend. And actually what I see at this particular point is I see pretty good bend in both knees, okay? That's kind of where we want to be. Go ahead and run it just to toe touch position, okay? I see pretty good bend in both knees. I see the knees are working inside the feet now. And basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for a good athletic balanced position, okay? One of the things we want to have is we want to have our hip square, okay? And I just see a little bit of openness with this front hip. And again, it's taking us off ball outer half. At this point, we should be squared up. There's a little bit of tilt in the shoulders, and then the hands drop just a little bit below shoulder height. I'd rather see the hands more up here. I do like the fact that your hands separated. They're back. They're behind your back knee. Head position at this time is a little bit more on that back leg. I'd rather see that head centered, more over the belt buckle. Again, it would be a balanced position. It would be a good attacking position. Generally what we see when hitters get into this particular position is this back knee will start to work around the front side, okay? And what we want is we want that load and that weight to be on the inside. Now I want to drive this knee and transfer weight to the inside part of that front leg. Okay, that's the transfer, and that's basically what keeps us square. That's basically what keeps us in a position to be able to handle the ball middle, out, outer third. Okay, it won't hurt us on the ball in. It actually keeps us inside the ball in. When this knee spins out and around, that actually causes the hands to cast out and around. And again, a little bit has to do with the load and the position that we're in, sitting with the head on the backside, weight's probably sitting on top of this leg right here instead of inside, okay? Another thing that I see I'd like for you to maybe pay attention to is when we set this stride down, we don't want to be any more open than 45 degrees, and you're at 62. That 62 degrees is really going to open up this front hip right here, and that's going to cause us to work out and around the ball. It's going to make our path of our hands work around our body instead of connecting and then working forward and through to contact and then into extension. So, it's kind of a twofold thing. One is the fact that the weight is all on the back leg, and the other is the stride foot is starting to open up a little bit too early, which causes the front side to leave and kind of makes the path of our bat follow that. So that would be one thing I think we can improve on. We'll run this forward into the swing. Now what we'll start to see is we start to see this back knee starting to come around the front leg, and as it does, the hands will start to come out and around too. And when we get into the finish, this recoil falling back, we can see how quickly the hands come across our body, and we just don't get the extension that we could get through contact. To see us kind of fall back onto that back leg, and then the hands just kind of finish and follow around our body, and we kind of cut the swing off just a little bit. Right about here, we're at contact, and then we're finishing, and we're recoiling and falling back. I think, Drew, one of the best ways to work on something like this, and this is something that a lot of big league hitters do. In fact, most big league hitters, they'll get to that loaded position right about here, and then they'll go ahead and just set a tee out here on the outer third of the plate, even with or just inside their stride foot. Okay, and they will work on getting to that loaded position so that this foot lands right here. It's landing and it's staying at that 45-degree angle. Okay. The other thing that we're going to check is make sure that these hips are nice and square. We don't want the hips to start to leak open and go in this direction, because that's going to cause the bat path to work around your body. So if we can get this 4 to 45 with that stride foot, the hips will square up, will be better. Now what we want to do is drive this knee, transfer weight into here, and when it does, this elbow is going to drop down into this slot right here. Okay? And as the elbow starts to drop down into the slot, we'll get to this position right here, and I see the elbow. Let me run back. I see the elbow and the hip, but because we spun with this back knee around the front side, the hands are dragging just a little bit, so they're trailing, and then everything with the hands and the bat work around the body. At this particular point, we want to see the hands right here. We want to see the hands in alignment with that back elbow and that back hip. That's the connection. Okay? And setting this tee out here on the outer third, out here like this, well, we're going to work in a cage, and this is going to put us in a position to be able to drive that back knee into the front side, let the elbow drop underneath, get to that connection, hand, elbow, back, hip, and now you can get through contact and extend through contact, and we're going to get weight driving into the inside part of this front leg. Okay? Only thing we want to be concerned with is just keep this front knee inside that front foot. It's got to stay inside so it can brace up, and then the extension of the barrel can continue to stay through contact out here outer third. Now, this is going to be a ball that we're going to hit into the, on a line into the right side of the cage. If we're coming around this ball, hitting ground balls, that means we're spinning. That means his back knee's working around. That means we'll probably have a lot of weight in this back leg. If we're hitting this ball and we're popping it up into the top of the cage, again, we're spinning, weight sitting on the back leg. This hand is dragging right here. We run out of barrel, so that barrel drops, and it just glances the ball on the underneath side, and it shoots the ball up. But if everything lines up and connects, hand, elbow, back, hip, this knee's driving weight forward, the inside part of this front leg, this stride foot's at a 45. We're now in a position to go to this ball, extend through it, and this is just going to make you a more complete hitter. It's going to help you handle probably where you're going to see 70 to 75% of the pitches are going to be middle away, outer thirdish. It's going to make you a much better off-speed pitch hitter, because our body's in a position to allow the barrel the path that it needs to take to stay on this ball and stay through this ball. This tee drill, outer third, is a drill that a lot of big league hitters work on a daily basis. And again, they're just working on getting the feel of having their body in a position to allow the hands to extend the barrel through contact all the way into extension, and just simply trying to drive the ball through the right side of the cage. Okay, Drew, this is a drill that I'm sure it's going to help you, and just want to thank you for coming.